Good morning, everybody, and it's a great Thursday, October 17th. I guess there was some good data out there that is making things kind of gap up a little bit this morning. So we're just going to take a look at the SPY first. I do see some of those comments coming in, but I'm going to go over some of the markets first. And what I'm seeing is the orange little dotted line up there. That's at 585.93. And what is that? 1.618. That's at 558. Or sorry, 585.38. So it is going to gap up above it. It looks like, which would be the first daily candle open above that 1.618 Fibonacci extension level ever, right? So that could be a very good thing if it holds throughout the day. So if it opens up and continues higher, then that'll be a great thing. But if it opens here and goes lower, that's obviously not what we want. So I want to see this break, especially a weekly candle close above that 585.38. If that can happen, then I think price can continue higher. So this is a good development. Going to watch that level closely. And the QQQ, also it's making a gap up too, but it's not going to go above this 497.46. So this is still going to be resistance for the Qs at 497.46. So pre-market is 496.65. We'll see what happens throughout the day and through the weekly candle tomorrow, but that's going to be the target to close above, since we really have not seen that since the all-time high. So this is going to be the level that I'm watching, 497.46, to see if today and tomorrow can get above it and make it a support. And IWM, so this one is the linear scale fib, and it is right still on the 786. This is just proof how big of a zone this is, and it's not clear sailing yet. This is still resistance because price is basically right around the same zone, not a gap up at all. So that's the number we're going to watch throughout today and tomorrow, and see if it can actually close the days and the week above 226.74 to become more bullish and not get rejected. And I'll do the big three right now: Tesla, NVIDIA, and Palantir, just to get it over with. And we'll see what's happening with Tesla on the day-to-day chart. It did close the day yesterday above that 221.26, and today it is above it pre-market, 222.33 right now. So the top of the cloud does sit around 226, so that's going to be the next resistance zone for Tesla. But for the weekly chart, we can see that there really is no resistance above until it maybe gets back to the 230s. So it has some room to go up since it is getting on top of this 221. But the goal is, regardless, to finish the week off above it. And then if that can happen, they can start to maybe build a base on top of it in order to go higher. And NVIDIA here. So NVIDIA is gapping up a little bit, right? It's going above. We'll go to the daily chart here. It's going towards the one level, the previous all-time high. Back here, 140.76. That is the number to break this week. Today and tomorrow has that opportunity to do it, but otherwise it could be a resistance. So going to be watching that. But I think since this 886 has reclaimed support, it looks like, it will go into all-time highs, I believe, and it's only a matter of time at this point, whether that's today, tomorrow, next week, or whatever. And then the next targets are going to be up here in the 150s and beyond. So this is looking better and better for continuation. It just has to break 140.76. And Palantir, yesterday, I'm just going to show you the the weekly chart. What happened exactly? Well, on log scale, it touched the arc, right? But I made a post yesterday on linear scale. All it did is go back to the 886 and retest it successfully. So people that were waiting for a pullback, that was the pullback right there. Not sure if it is going to go lower than that. A lot of times market makers don't like to let people back in. So if people were looking for opportunities, that was the opportunity, and I made people aware of it yesterday with that post. So back to my log scale chart, you can see that the arc is holding as a support. So if that continues in the weeks to come, it could go back down to the 40s again, right? It could go back down there again and retest it in the weeks to come. But as long as this holds, it is going to break that one level, the 45, and then go to the 60s and 70s above eventually. So this is a good thing for Palantir. It might not be ready to break out into all-time highs yet, but it's just building a base at a higher level now, which is a good thing to see for a possible continuation. So I see the request. We'll start with the TMDX that I saw at the top here. So yeah, TMDX, the line in the sand for me is closing this weekly candle above this Fibonacci extension. And this is from this high to this low, right, back in 2023 to October. And if we zoom in here, what do we see? It's basically at 131 exactly. Yeah. So basically that's where price is pre-market. And it's the 1.272. So that's what I want to see. I want to see that hold as support. And if that holds as support, it can actually probably build a base at this level and go higher, because I don't want it to see it go below that. If it goes below that, then there's a possibility to come back down to the arc or even that one level again. So really focusing on that 131 level and just hold it as support for a continuation higher. And we're going to go to AXON now. So AXON is good on the daily chart, and the weekly chart is getting kind of extended as well. We can just look at the chart. Yeah, it's been very bullish. We'll go to the log scale version here. Yeah, it's just a very bullish chart. So what we can do is just pull up some of these recent fibs over here from the high to the low. And yeah, it's exceeding the 1.618. So I think that kind of was a resistance. So if it ever were to pull back, I think that would be some solid support in the future. If there ever was like a scare or anything like 380. But I think eventually the trend is going to be your friend, and probably it's going to melt up maybe to the 700s at least. So things look good, better and better for this. As long as these levels hold right here, then it should continue higher. Yeah, OKLO. I think I did this one a couple days ago. So yeah, it's finally breaking above the cloud, right? I think a couple days ago I was talking about it, how it was below the cloud, and I would need to see it above. So this is something that is important to see. So this could be flipping the top of the cloud to a support, and that can mean maybe support could be down the 14s or 13s or so. But if you just look to the left, you can see these wicks right here. So this is going to offer some resistance regardless, because these wicks, they were sold off quite a bit. So that kind of means that this is the resistance zone that it's approaching. So not sure how much more momentum it has during the week, but the top of this wick does sit at 1880. So that's going to be the goal to break out of. Otherwise, the possibility to come back and retest the 13s is going to be there. And SMR. Yeah, so this one is pretty good too. I think all we need here are the fibs as well. Yeah, it's breaking the one level. So that 1585 is going to be your support. And it was a resistance before. So obviously, if it flips it to a support, then that will be probably a continuation into the $28 zone or even the 30s above. So this is looking better and better. All I got to do is watch and make sure this 1585 holds as a support. Yeah, I'll take a look at WULF right now. TerraWulf. So yeah, TerraWulf is looking really good on my GAN here. It looks like it kind of wants to go to the level up here, the 567. We'll see if it has room to break it. But what I like to see is on the Ichimoku here, it got really 100% bullish again, right? It's above the conversion line, above the baseline. So that is trending higher. I think the momentum is in your favor. Even on the daily chart, there's really good development too. We can see that it finally broke out above the cloud again on the daily chart. which means that I think the top of the cloud will be your support, even though it does sit around 460s, right? That would be kind of a big drop from current price, but this is just a volatile stock. So the whole point is momentum, and it looks like once again momentum is back in the favor of the miners, especially WULF. So whether it comes down or not, I think the next target will get hit, maybe 567, and that's going to be challenging to break. But if it does break, it can go much higher into the eights and maybe tens above. So this does look good, but I need to see this level get broken first before I get more bullish on it. But I think because of this breakout, I think this could be a magnet for price in the future. All right, we got 2 minutes. So we'll look at Sound Hound again. I think I did look at it yesterday. So daily chart, same situation, right? It broke out of the cloud and it finally retested it even yesterday. So this is a good thing, right? A really good thing for a possible continuation higher. So that support is 514 today. And I think on the weekly chart, we can see that it does have room to even go up to the top of the cloud now, which is basically 587, 588. So I think there is some room to go, especially after the daily backtest here of the cloud. So the continuation up to the 580s, or maybe even up here to the previous candles over here in the 620s is possible as well. Yeah, so MicroStrategy, MSTR, that one front ran everything, and now it's lagging a little bit because it already had made a huge move. So I was thinking on linear scale here that this might hold, but now since there's been 3 daily candles that closed back below it, I'm now thinking it's resistance now. So the possibility, especially it's down pre-market and it's below the conversion line, the possibility to go back to 180.45 does exist. But if it did get there, this is a great opportunity because it would be a resistance and then it would be a breakout and a back test of that zone and would be the opportunity everybody's waiting for a continuation higher, because this looks like it has a great chance of being a very successful support. Could it wick down to the baseline too in the 170s? Yes, it could. But I think this zone, probably on weekly closes, has a great chance of holding for 180.45. So I think that is the opportunity. But regardless, the momentum is still in your favor. It's still a very bullish chart. And I think on the weekly chart, it says it all too, right? The conversion line is still way down there in the 160s, 170s. So therefore, will it go up to the next level? I think ultimately it will. Just got to be a little bit patient. Yeah, so I see HBAN, Huntington Bank. So weekly chart bullish, but what happened yesterday, or not yesterday, a couple days ago, it got rejected by this zone, right? It tried to break above this zone right here. I can just draw a black line. Don't even need any fibs or anything. We can see that it's a very important resistance zone, and it got rejected earlier on in the week. So that basically 1560 level has to get broken, right, in order to go higher. Otherwise, it's at resistance right now, and I'm a little bit more cautious at resistance because this wick right here is telling me that it's resistance. So don't need anything else, just an obvious glance at the charts. It needs to break above that to continue higher. And I'll do one more just because it is market open now. So 995 is SOFI. And tomorrow's a weekly close. And I said I want a weekly candle close above $10, and not sure if it's going to happen. So we'll see. If it can't close this week above $10, then possibly price will want to go down again. So we'll just keep an eye on that level exactly. So therefore, $10, that's the target to close above. And if not, it can even go back down to the 930s and retest this 45-degree angle, which was an obvious place. So we'll see tomorrow if this weekly candle close can continue above it or not. And just one final quick look at the markets here. We'll see what's going on. Yeah, so the SPY, did it open above that fib level. Let's go back to the SPY here. Yeah, it opened at 585.91. And so it did open above, but now it's coming down a little bit. So just got to watch the level for continuation. So markets are looking good. IWM is still struggling with its linear base fib right there, 226.74. That is going to be the target to close above to have lots of things continue higher. So we've got to really wait for IWM to break out before anything else really breaks out. But yeah, Palantir is up again. Yesterday was that opportunity. CrowdStrike is up again. I was saying that 300 was a great support. It sure enough was. Enphase is down again, but we'll just have to wait for the weekly close on that one. And yeah, Tesla's down again too. So it looks like that 219 for Tesla is like a really strong support right now. So we'll see if that just continues to hold. But yeah, the miners are just following Bitcoin right now, and Bitcoin's down a little bit. So the miners are down a little bit too, but they all have still room to run. They just maybe need to retest some levels before they continue higher. So that's it for today, and see you guys tomorrow.